This feels kind of like a Star Wars movie. You know how it's an epic battle at the beginning and then everybody's kind of calm by the end of it and everything's just kind of settled. And then boom, you get, well, actually, it's more like the end of a horror movie when you think, oh, everything's all well and done. And then bam, the victim ends up basically getting run over by a car or anything like that. And then it cuts to that's it. There's nothing else that's involved in the movie. And that's how the portal has been so far today. And that's how it's going to be for the next several weeks as we get started. The spring portal has officially opened up. We've gotten a lot of commits, a lot of guys that have officially entered the portal after they initially said that they were entering. So now we have all of that. We're going to break all of it down. We'll talk about Nico deciding to go to UCLA. We'll talk about how that affects UCLA. We'll talk about how it affects Tennessee because, I feel like we don't really talk about Tennessee a lot when it comes to the other side of this. We'll also get into Ashton Jeanty, the letter he wrote to NFL GMs. And boy, it's a dandy. Let me just tell you guys. So strap in. We got a wild show for you. Every live show is brought to you by our good friends over at Hero Soap Company. Go on over to herosoapcompany.com. Use that promo code Huddle Up for 10% off of your first purchase. That's herosoapcompany.com. They've got the best with all sorts of scents that are around. They've got two hot sellers that are quickly flying off of their shelves. So, guys, if you want to take advantage of some of the best soaps, shampoos, conditioners that they have, go on over to herosoapcompany.com. Use that promo code Huddle Up for 10% off of your first purchase. Hero Soap Company, let freedom clean. We are brought to you by our good friends at vocalbreaks.com. Vocalbreaks.com is one of the best when it comes to all things around the music industry, whether you're a producer, whether you're a DJ, or whether you're just a podcaster, guys. Vocalbreaks.com is the best source for you when it comes to producing music, whenever it comes to podcasting, and whatever it is that you want to do, guys. Vocal Breaks is the tool for you. So if you want the best, do not settle for less. Go to vocalbreaks.com. Use that promo code LucasHill10 for 10% off of your monthly subscription. Use code LucasHill10. Before we get into all the Nico situation, let's talk about the letter. And we're going to read through this together. And I do apologize, by the way, because this is a fairly long letter. And I want to kind of break it all down. Dear NFL GMs, most people, they watched the Eagles win the Super Bowl a couple months ago. They watched Saquon run through everyone in the playoffs, and they thought to themselves, this is amazing. I watched it, and I thought something different. I thought that can be me. Bam, right off the bat, starting off, people are regretting the Saquon Barkley trade. And guys, why wouldn't you? We have to sit down and have a real serious conversation about that trade. That was a debacle of one last year on the side of the Giants. You traded away your best guy because you didn't want to pay him. And look, guys, it sucks that the Giants did that. I think they made a horrible move trading away your franchise player that you knew was going to have an immediate impact wherever. And the guy ends up winning Offensive Player of the Year and is an MVP candidate. Should have won the MVP, in my opinion. But it goes to show you, and there's a legit chance that this was one of the biggest regrets that the Giants will ever have. If you're wondering where I got this confidence from, I tell you it starts with my family. I grew up in a big, loving household with my parents, my brother, my two sisters. Family, that's everything to me. That's my backbone. My dad was in the military, so we had to move around a lot. When I was 7, we moved from Jacksonville to Chesapeake, And that's where I really got into sports. First, it was soccer, which of course I was a natural at. Then my uncle started coaching me up in basketball. Then that became my new obsession. Football came much more gradually. I always played it, but it was more about having fun, just being in the backyard with my friends. I wasn't playing organized ball or anything, even when it was serious, though, I swear. No one could touch me. You'd have these older kids out there all trying to bring me down, doing whatever they could, and I just make them look silly. Then in fifth grade, my best friend Mario got me to join this rec league he was on called the Cardinals. I remember one of my first times touching the football in that league. I scored about a 60-yard touchdown. My family was sitting behind the end zone, and when I ran it, they were all going crazy. I'll never forget that. I'd never felt anything like that before, and I just remember thinking two specific things in this moment. One, I'm going to be very successful at this, and two, I love this. Guys, if you want anything better, look at that 1, 2, 3, 4, seventh paragraph. I love this. He loves the game of football. How many guys do you honestly say love the game, but they don't express it? On the field, off the field, whatever it is. How many guys do you see do this? It's very, 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 very slim that it happens. And guys, why wouldn't you even draft a kid like this? I think he absolutely deserves all this. And so here's my thing. When you get a guy like that in your organization, you're getting a guy that loves the game of football, who genuinely does it for the love of the game. You can safely say that with a kid like Ashton Jeanty. Middle school is when I really started to take football seriously. I tried out for the team as a sixth grader, and I was the only one in my whole class to make it. But I didn't play much since we had a lot of good seventh and eighth graders. I remember we had this one eighth grader at running back. He was huge, probably 5'11", 200 legit. But in my memory, this kid was like Shaq. He was too big for middle school, bro. And I was like 5'5", 160 back then. So, of course, he was starting. Then seventh grade came, and I already knew what time it was. I rushed for about 200 yards and 5 to 4 touchdowns as a game. We went undefeated. But right when I felt like I was about to take over as a football player, my life completely shifted. My dad got stationed in Naples, Italy, so all of a sudden, that's where our family was moving. I had these mixed emotions. I was proud of my dad because he'd basically gotten promoted, and I knew he'd worked hard for it. But at the same time, moving to another country at that age was tough to even fathom. And the toughest part of it is that they didn't have a middle school football team there. So it's like I'd just started, it hit my stride at a running back, but now I had to change gears for a minute. And if I'm telling you as NFL GMs why you should draft me, I actually think that time in my life where I couldn't play football is a part of it. A lot of people, they might flourish when things are going according to plan. But then if they get hit and thrown that curveball, they can't adapt. Me, I feel like I'm the opposite. When I had to move across the world and pause football for a year, my attitude was, well, all right, I can't control that. So let's take what I can control and make the absolute best out of it. I commend this kid for it. Dude, I love Ashton Jeanty, bro. I have nothing bad at all to say about him. I say I don't think he's a first-round draft pick, but guys, the Giants may get themselves a franchise player if they go ahead and go draft a guy like Ashton Jeanty, who, by the way, they would basically be admitting that they screwed up when they threw away a guy like Ashton Jeanty. So let's continue on. I learned a lot about myself in that year. We're on page 2, by the way, so bear with us. I soaked up the culture as much as I could. The food, the clothes, the music, even stuff like the style of communication. One thing I found interesting is how important hand gestures are in Italy. Italians will almost say more through their gestures than their words. I also learned how I'm a people person. You come to a new place and it's like you have a choice to make. Either you open yourself up or close yourself off. And I realized I'm someone who wants to open himself up. I'm good at it too. You throw me deep with people I've never met before, I'm swimming. But I actually think the number one thing I learned when I was on pause with football, it's how there's nothing more than to be great at football. 8th grade, no football season. I put in work. Are we back? Heck yeah, we're back. Let me look on my Instagram. Twitter, if we're back, give me a thumbs up. Something like that. Would really be appreciated if you did. Just let me know if we're back for real. I'm looking on my Instagram right now to see if we're back. Yeah, we're back. All right. My freshman year, I was so cold. Sophomore year, we left Italy and moved to Frisco, Texas. That's where I spent the rest of high school. I transferred to a school in Frisco called Lone Star, and it was another big change. After killing it in Naples, all of a sudden, I was on a squad loaded up with great players, not just future D1 guys, but future NFL guys. People almost don't believe this when they say it, I'd hear it. But I didn't play running back again until my senior year. Wow. That's insane. You know. So I think this so far we've got a great story, bro. And I told you guys I love Ashton Jeanty, guys. I really do. I have a lot of love for the kid. Especially after I'd already sat a whole season in Italy, then showed what I could do finally. It was pretty frustrating. But I'll tell you this, ask about me. Go ask my coaches from Lone Star if I made any noise. I'm guessing they'll all say the same thing. Ashton Jeanty? Nah, he just went out there and played football. That dude loves football. Sophomore year, I came in, they put me at outside linebacker, defensive end, safety, and special teams. My attitude was I'll play anywhere as long as it helps the team win. Junior year, they moved me to slot receiver. And if you're doubting my pass catching skills, I'd say go watch that tape. I was dangerous. You better go watch the tape, by the way, because this dude was a freaking beast, especially coming out the backfield. Finally, senior year, they put me back. And to be honest, that was like a crossroads moment because that's the moment in my life where I gained that last big piece of confidence I needed. I think I always believed that once I got handed the keys at Lone Star, I'd be a great running back for them. But at the same time, until you've actually done it, there's actually going to be a voice in your head that's your own skeptic. It's like, yeah, you did it in Europe, but this is Texas, or it is, or it's. You did it as a freshman, but that was 2 years ago. I had this moment where I felt the shreds of doubt. Then they put the rock in my hand, and any doubts flew out the window. The moment I knew I'd be a beast in Texas, it was our second game of the season against Aledo. Aledo is pretty much a dynasty. They're loaded every year, and we're coming off 3 straight championships in a row. I went off on them for 239 total yards and 4 touchdowns, and we almost pulled out the upset too. I'm still mad to this day that we didn't. I hate losing. Another big moment for me was towards the end of the season versus Denton Ryan. They're a program that's famous for their defense. Heading to our game, no one had topped the 100 yards rushing against them all season. And if you know me, then you know I view that a stat like that as a challenge. I hit them up for 231. I love it. What's crazy is even though I was having this historic season, the blue blood college football programs still weren't making me offers. I think part of that was just bad timing. Since so much recruiting is done early, by the time I was putting this film together as a senior, it was almost too late in the process. I hadn't been playing running back as a sophomore or junior, so I wasn't getting invited to all the camps and I wasn't getting on radars. It's funny though, one of the camps I did go to, I'll never forget it. They had us doing one-on-one drills, and where it's you against the defender, mano a mano. And it's just, can you beat your man or not? A drill like that, there's no hiding. You're really finding out who's who. So we got in these 2 lines, offense or defense, and just kept cycling through. Then whoever came up in the other line when you came up, that's who you'd face. And every time through, I'm telling you, I was straight cooking dudes. Everyone I lined against, no exceptions, I cooked them. But then the wildest part is I'm finding out afterwards there's some 4 or 5-star who's going to a blue blood. Actually, one of my victims, he was even the camp MVP. So it's not like I didn't know how I stacked up at that point. I just knew it was going to take longer for everyone else to discover it. What's cool about my journey, I think, whether it's being stuck on a depth chart behind the biggest, tallest running back in 8th grade history, or it's Italians not messing with middle school football, or it's too much talent coming out of North Texas, or it's splitting college carry, this with a really good back like George Halani. I've had all these moments as a football player where I'm ready to go, ready to be great. But then for one reason or another, I haven't been able to get there immediately. So I've had to take the long way sometimes. And what I've learned about the long way is it didn't keep me from being great. It just made it so when I got there, I'd be even greater. I'm there now. I've gone from Jacksonville to Chesapeake to Naples to Frisco to Boise. All these places, I played defensive end, safety, outside linebacker, special teams, slot, lead running back, back running back, backup everything. I played street, rec league, road trip to a small town in Belgium football, 5A Texas high school football, college playoff football, and no football. I played with older kids, military kids, European kids, with the 0 and 5-star kids, and everyone in between. I played under those Friday night lights, and I played on that Bronco blue. My journey to the NFL, it's definitely been different. And I believe that's exactly what it's made me different. I truly believe I was born to do this. And I truly believe what makes me different, it isn't about the position I line up at. It's about the mindset I bring to it. Those 11 dudes on defense, they're a football field. They're on a football field playing football. Me, in my mind, I'm still in the backyard with my friends playing No One Can Touch Me. I've taken the long way. I've done that with that way. If you pick me, it's simple. I'm coming to your franchise to do what Saquon and the Eagles just did. I'm coming to win big soon. It's tackle football. You know what I'm saying? I draft the guy they can't tackle. Thank you for your time, Ashton Genty. Okay, now I want him with the Giants. I know they're not going to pick him, but my God, he just can prove over and over again why he is an elite player. When he things like just like come out and this is probably the most humble dude I've met. Out here for and I personality like this, one that can really, one that can dominate on a consistent basis at the next level. I draft the guy that they can't tackle. How awesome is that? Dude, that okay, I'm hoping we don't have any more freaking issues because this is very, very aggravating. But anyways, guys, sorry about that. Um, that was awesome. That was really fun to watch. That was eye popping. Let me just tell you. So we're gonna go ahead and take a break. We'll get into the Nico situation and let's get out of here. All right.
Are you a music producer, DJ, or just someone who loves to remix tracks? Well, say goodbye to messy, low-quality track separations and hello to vocalbreaks.com, the most powerful AI-driven music editing tool on the market. Unlike other separation tools, Vocal Breaks harnesses the most advanced AI model available, delivering crystal clear vocals, pristine instrumentals, and an unmatched precision, all online with no software required. You can extract vocals or instrumentals with studio quality accuracy. It's perfect for remixes, mashups, karaoke, and music production, and for a faster, cleaner, and more reliable than any other service. So if you want the best, don't settle for less. Go on over to vocalbreaks.com and use code LucasHill10 now and experience the full future of AI-powered music editing. That's vocalbreaks.com using code LucasHill10.
Elevate your daily routine with the Hero Soap Company, a veteran-owned business dedicated to crafting high-quality, natural soaps right here in the U.S. of A. Each bar is handmade in Phoenix, Arizona, using premium natural ingredients sourced from American companies, ensuring a product that's both effective and environmentally conscious. With invigorating scents like peppermint and tea tree and soothing blends like lavender, there is a perfect match for everyone. But Hero Soap Company is more than just great soap. A portion of every sale is donated to charities supporting veterans and first responders, helping to give back to those who serve our communities. So visit our good friends at herosoapcompany.com today and use promo code HUDDLEUP to receive 10% off of your first purchase. Hero Soap Company, let freedom clean.